Okay, so welcome to the Art of Learning Self Love. I am Darla Williams. I am here to um, help you learn how to begin learning how to love yourself and what that really means. Today, my topic is how are you out of alignment? What in your life has do you say one thing, but you find yourself doing something else? So I started off this last week with some things that had came up in my own personal life. And so what I'm doing today is talking about a little bit about those things because that is the only way that we learn from one another is by sharing our personal life experiences. So what I have today to share is the fact that because of myself be saying one thing and doing something else, it actually created a rift in my own life that causes some health issues. And I had to recognize where it was coming from. So I had to get back to the basics for myself. And what is that? What am I living by? What is my process? So I have the top 10 rules that I live by. And my top 10 rules are that I have to have a God centered life and to do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I need to be authentic, speak my truth, create a world full of imagination, serve with a sincere heart, be grateful, learn sometimes something new every day. When it's challenging, push myself even harder and to love myself first so I can truly love others. Those are my top 10 rules. And what I have to do is remember that it is important that those are my rules, that I have to live by those rules. So sometimes, when for myself, because I've identified my rules, sometimes I have to check myself and make sure that I'm living by that. And what I found was I wasn't being authentic and speaking my truth. Those two were really affected this week, this last couple weeks. I am a person of service. I love to help other people, but I wasn't feeling well. And I was continuing to do things that I wasn't supposed to be doing. It wasn't in the alignment of what my purpose is. So because I was falling out of alignment, how I was falling out of alignment was every day when I had to go to a space of work that was not benefiting me, but it was actually hindering of my production and what I'm called to do. I was still going because I was not trusting the source. I was not trusting God for my supply. I know in my heart of hearts every day that he takes care of me, that it is all that the universe all works together for my good. I know that, but I got out of alignment with that. I thought, well, this is paying my bills. So I have to stay there. Well, I kept going and kept going. And what did I do? I created a different circumstance. I wasn't supposed to be there anymore. I knew I wasn't supposed to be there anymore. The energy was draining me. So what happened? My entire body came out of alignment. It caused me to have health issues. It changed my sugar levels. It changed my blood pressure. It changed my focus. It disrupted everything about who I am. So I had to literally take myself and I had to go to the ER twice, had to go and find out what was going on. I almost fell out. I had a lot of things, but I had to stop because I didn't equate that at first. I thought, oh my gosh, what's wrong? Your natural response is, oh, what's happening? Well, one, I haven't been taking proper care of myself. I'm not eating right. So I'm not living my truth. So I'm not speaking and living what I'm supposed to be speaking and living. I'm allowing others to take instead of be a give and take. I was allowing others to take and not receiving. So when I had all of these things, these factors come up, it literally shook my entire world because I wasn't being authentic with me. When you start with loving yourself first, you're going to ask yourself, how does this affect me? Because if it's hurting you, if it's harming you, even if it's minutely, it will completely disrupt what's happening in your process. That when you're walking your plans for your purpose, and you are sitting over here and going, okay, this is my day, this is what I'm going to do, but then somebody else says, oh, and you go, well, this really doesn't fit with what I'm doing, but oh, I guess actually takes you completely out of alignment. It takes you and sets you over here when you're supposed to be over here. So what I have, I just want people to understand what it is our responsibility when we're walking out our path to ask ourselves really important questions. How am I causing my own distress? When the life starts getting hectic and out of control, it's really not anybody else around us, it's ourselves. What is it that has created the disturbance within? So when I had to ask those questions to myself, I had to say, am I loving myself first? I wasn't. So that knocked me out of alignment because I wasn't asking myself if this really is going along with where I need to be right now. So even though it was still going to work, it was helping somebody else, it was part of what I like to do, it still wasn't, it was draining. It was emotionally and mentally and physically draining me. It was taking the substance of who I am and altering it because I was around a lot of negativity because the person doesn't want help. I want to help, but they don't want the help. So it's a conflict of interest. When I was going in every day, cleaning, cleansing, doing, it wasn't respected because he's not in a space of respect as a respecter. So that caused more dissension along the path. And it's funny how something so minute, while I'm sitting there going, I really don't want to do this anymore, but I was still going because I needed a paycheck. Who am I to fight my path and my purpose? Everything. Because when you step out in true faith of what you are to do, everything comes together and comes into alignment. The minute I couldn't go to work because of my health, the minute everything fell apart, what looked like was my security, everything else fell into place. I have several clients now that are working with me with my program with the Art of Learning Self-Love, where they weren't before. I was talking about it, but it wasn't coming together. And now I have people that are working with me. I'm learning that some of the skills and the stuff that I'm doing, that I can actually change my price setting and help people because I have a lot of resources to help people with. There's just so much that truly comes together when you actually step where you're supposed to step. Now, I was so stubborn, learning things the hard way, that I wasn't able.
What? Let me see your eye.
I'm sorry? Oh. We have Jane here. How are you doing, Miss Jane?
I'm doing well. I was
talking to my dog, didn't realize that I didn't mute my mic, so I'll just mute my mic. Sorry.
You
We
are
didn't
fine.
realize. We didn't realize. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing well. How are you ladies this morning? Yes.
I'm okay. Doing good. Doing good.
Good.
Excellent. So, has anybody have any questions yet in regards to what I'm talking about?
No, everything is very clear. I'm just enjoying your good vibes and all your wiseness, Darla. So you can go ahead.
Ms.
We're
Jan, are
all,
you
I didn't have any questions. I just appreciate what you're saying, and it's helping me to just that much more know that my turns and changings
awesome?
to indicate, yeah, that I love myself is yeah, good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate both of you too for being here and being along the journey. I mean, learning to love ourselves is so important. And when we find ourselves, I think it's really important for us when we come together to actually discuss the things that are causing the issues in our life, because then that's where we all learn. When we are sitting in that space by ourselves trying to deal with it, oh, we're going to overcome this, let me handle it. When we get in our ego self of being, oh, I can, I'm capable, we have to come together collectively. It's all an energy anyways. And when we're all fed together and working in an accord with one another, there's more results. Because if I have an idea and you have an idea, then we're both great. We have a great idea. But if we both come together and use our ideas together, we can actually mastermind and create an actual result. That's the great things about what we have in this community, is we have that resource with one another, and we don't have to lean upon our own understanding. We can help and feed each other and grow each other the way that we need to be. Now, I was not listening to my own needs in this last few weeks of my life. I knew that what I needed was to be able to open my time to be available to others. And I knew that that's what I needed to do. I have my passion and my purpose comes from a space because I've been through so many different things in my life that have allowed me to learn skills to overcome a lot of brokenness. Before I even began, when I could make decisions for myself, I had my trust violated so my root was broken by someone else. They took and destroyed my trust before I could even begin. I was so young that I was so young when it happened that I actually suppressed it and wasn't even aware that it was happening, because it caused me to do other things that people noticed that made them go, what's going on? So, but it didn't happen right away. So it was much later in life. So I was like, oh no, because they were trying to place blame in the wrong space. And I knew it wasn't that. So I was like, no. So it was misguided and misunderstood. And I had a lot of behavioral issues growing up because of things that had happened. And it set me out of alignment there. And I had to go through some real deep counseling and seeking my own understanding. It wasn't until I came to a spiritual understanding that real things began to change. My spirituality is what actually set the difference and opened my mind and gave me an understanding of what was really happening to me. And it allowed me to soul search and find the issues, but bring them up and actually bring them to true healing and restoration, which most people spend their whole life trying to achieve. So, what I like to do is now, because I've come through so much. I mean, if I was to explain that, it would probably take me 2 weeks just to tell you what happened, because there was so much. There was so much brokenness. That's where I came from. That's why I have the two paintings that I have here. The brokenness is who I once was. That's all I knew. That's where I began. And when that path, it allowed me to actually learn so much to be of use, to bring that healing and that restoration that allows me the privilege to help others through their circumstance. When there wasn't someone there that walked with me because I didn't know how to reach out, then I had the Lord, God, universe, source, the name, wherever you are. There's no judgment, because when you truly find that, you know that no matter what name is upon that, you know that you're really, truly beginning to understand how you are formed and fashioned from the beginnings. So no matter where you are and what you're about, as long as you are soul seeking, truly reaching and understanding that there is a source that is a govern over the laws and the rules of how this all functions and works together, and that you know that the universe all has a part, each individual has a part in that, and that we all come together and we are able to feed and grow one another. When we realize that, we can go so much further than trying to sit on the sideline trying to figure it out for ourselves. So what I want to do today is I want to ask each of you, if you don't mind, where is there a space in your life that you may be out of alignment with what you really want, so that you can go forward in doing what you are called to do? Does anybody know how to answer that?
Yeah, I'm definitely conscious of it. And for me, what I want to do to be more in alignment, I am trying to reduce cigarettes and coffee right now. And that's one of the things I'm working on, to try to be healthy, because it's very important. So I can get downloads more clearly and develop my communication with higher rounds. So it's very important that I am in alignment, definitely.
Okay.
Good
And
sleep, good sleep. Just treat our body as a temple. So we have to see what things we can do to improve our immune system and our spirit, but at the same time, we have to see what we can remove to elevate our spirit and vibration. So definitely we have to look, as we say, success comes from changing our daily habits. So it is definitely essential to see what we can add or remove, so we can be in better alignment with Mother Gaia, with Father Sky, etc.
right. Are
And
you are you
yeah,
willing to hear some suggestions? Because I had
yes,
those
of
same
course.
battles.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely.
What
And I'm
I When I quit smoking, what is today? Okay, July 13th will be my 1 year no cigarettes.
wow, that's awesome.
1 year, July 13th. So I just recently in the last year battled this, and I was a heavy smoker. I was heavy. I smoked 2 packs a day.
Wow.
I was a heavy smoker. I always had a cigarette.
So what
So
did you do to help you?
what I did was I took the 2 packs and I cut one of them in half. So I brought myself down to a pack and a half. And I just instantly did that. And I was like, whoa. And when I got to that pack and a half, I realized, oh, I don't have a couple cigarettes for the rest of the night. And that made me nervous. I was like, I don't know if I can make, I made myself go to bed because I didn't have it. So when you become addicted to something, when you have that addiction, you have to have that space. So then the next day, I cut myself down to 1 pack. So I was like, okay, so now I'm smoking. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day. How can I not make it with 20 cigarettes? You know, I mean, I'm not staying up 24/7. So I cut myself back to only 1 cigarette per hour.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, so now I have that. Once I got there, I cut myself again to 10 cigarettes. So when I had the 10 cigarettes, I smoked that and I made sure I counted them. I kept them somewhere else. So everything else was put away. So I had 10 cigarettes. That was for the day. I did that for 2 days. Then I dropped down to 9 cigarettes. So I still have device packs to keep the numbers. So then I went down to 9. I did that for 2 days. I did 8 for 2 days and 7. And I did that for a day. Then I went to 6. Then I went to 5. I held 5 for 2 days. 4 for 2 days. 3 for 2 days. And when I got down and saw that all I had was 2 cigarettes, I just laid it down and never picked it back up.
Wow.
I left myself the option that I chose to make a decision. Now, to make myself accountable because I didn't have anybody in my immediate life around me that was going to hold me to it. I knew that because I want to be an influence to others, I did a video and I talked about it and I told people this is what I was doing. And I was in a group at the time where people were, you know, you're unstoppable, you're in the influencers, you can do this, you know. So I was in a group that was going to hold me accountable. So when I did so, and I made the decision, when I told everybody I made that decision, it became permanent. The process that helps us isn't, and I'm not going to say it was easy because it wasn't. The stuff that's in cigarettes is so addictive that it makes you have anger. It makes you have withdrawals. It makes you have the shakes. It causes you to be uncomfortable. It makes your skin crawl when you don't have it. I mean, it really does a work on your body and you really do go through withdrawals. And it really does something psychologically. So to fight that, I had to literally, because I knew I was getting ugly with somebody in my life, my poor mom, I was getting ugly and I was just like blah, blah, blah about it. And I was like, hold on, you know what? This isn't your fault. I need to go give myself a timeout right now. And I went and put myself in my room and said, I'm going to go deal with me because I realized I was purging out this toxin and it was making me toxic to the people around me. So I had to go and remove myself and drink a lot of water and spend that time in meditation and realize that it was my job to fight through it. A decision is the process that brings you through it. You have to remember that you are the only one that can change it. No matter how hard it is, you are worth it. Because when you get to the other side, the ability to breathe, the breakthroughs that happen, the places you land in life because of it, because you've removed those things. What can happen then is your path becomes open and you then are able to receive the things that you've been waiting on you will find that the doors of things that you wanted will open and mountains will be moved. So remember, when you're going through your process, I used to drink 3 pots of coffee a day. I drink 1 cup a day now. That took a while too. So, Mona, I can really relate to your story. And I hope that you can take some of that and maybe use that for yourself.
Definitely. Yes.
And Miss Jan, I want to make sure that you get in here too. What is one thing in your life that you realize that you are not listening to your own needs and keeping you separate from the path in which you need to take?
I wow.
That's a deep question.
It is. And with me, there's been such the transition, and there's still so much the more. Years ago, actually back in 2005, I started to go to a very exclusive schooling whereby which it was not only going to help really change my life, it was going to really help save my life for what was in a reverse engineering, looking back now on it from that kind of wayward that I was in, the lens that I had. My lens were foggy. Later, before I first found out that they were broken, my school and teachers thereof were helping me learn how to come back into my embodiment so that I could come back into alignment. And there's been a lot of psychosomatic work done. There's also been some skills and tools to add. There is a phenomenal wayward with which things have really turned around. And one of the tools that they help us to have is so, I've never seen anything like it. It is so ultra mind blowing. And if more people knew that they could make such a tool happenstance for themselves, not only would not only would their lives change, but they'd really be saving themselves from no longer going down a trail of, oh, I only can survive. It's fine that life is minimalized and get by, and then the all that the all that goes with that, the encompass of it is just hold your spit together, be stoic, because if nothing else, you probably fall down, and it's not good enough to live
Not.
at that. Yeah, it's really
Oh,
not. It's really not. And unfortunately, a lot of who keep up that kind of profile are male brothers, um,
well,
our male relatives, and it's hard to interact with them because they don't find it's worth the while to get to the other side of letting go of the stoic, coming through and breaking through eclipse and wounds, and getting back into this world, because that it really is a step off of the world. I'm just surviving. It's okay to live, be living dead, because that's mostly what the profile emits of their behavior and who they're being. And
right.
so I'm not trying to call them wrong. It's the behavior that is so dampening on such a
Here,
greatest creation from God, and it's very painful. And so,
so Jen, can I
yeah,
share something with you?
please.
What I'm hearing right now is that you're seeing in your family or your friends, the males around you, you're
Yep.
seeing them really continuing the generational issue that comes down from the passing downs of the fathers and the fathers to the fathers.
Bingo.
So you have this generational thing, and so you find yourself being the one in your family that's uprooting a lot of ill-trained behaviors.
Correct.
So while you're doing that and dealing with that right now, Jan, what's happening is you're really unveiling and seeing the different layers of how bad this has destroyed generations of your life from
Yes.
from the passing downs. The one thing you can do for yourself is remember that everything that you do actually creates a ripple effect out to them. So when you
Okay.
stand in that space, don't look at them anymore from the past idea, from the past lens. Look at them from your present lens and just love.
Mm-hmm.
When you can actually hold that space of just loving them, no matter what they've done, no matter what they're doing, it starts making a space for them to see something changing in you that they're going to want to learn. But you have to hold that space for a while. It doesn't just happen. It takes time.
Yep.
Because they're going to see that you have transformed. They're going to see that you have changed. You're not reacting anymore. Now you're responding.
Yes.
You're responding out of love. You're responding out of care. You're responding out of service, dedication to who you truly are. You're holding your own space of authenticity. You're speaking your truth. And when people can do that, they learn to come to a space of actually respecting you as an individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's a process and it's a practice. We have to practice it every day because it's so easy to fall back into old patterns. It's easy to begin doing things that we did before. So it's a practice of every day taking an account to whether or not I want to entertain that behavior within. And when we can change that with ourselves and every time hold ourselves accountable, everybody else around us starts going, how do you do that? How do you, like, I was accused for years. Must have been smoking drugs because they didn't know how I could be so calm. And I was just calm. I found my space of peace within. They were like, Darla, are you smoking weed? Because you are too calm. This stuff is stressful. How are you remaining calm? I just found my peace within. So I was like, no, I don't smoke that stuff, but that's okay if you do, whatever, and I had to laugh because people really thought that about me because they were like, you're just too mellow. And I'm like, no, it's just I found my space of peace within.
Can I ask what's your star sign?
Oh, I'm Gemini.
Okay.
Oh.
Out of curiosity, you can go ahead.
Like totally different. Like I'm not like my sign at all.
Okay.
I don't know what my rising is. I need to figure out what my rising is. I should probably get together with you and do a full reading.
Do you know? Yeah, anytime you want. Do you know what your ascendance is?
My what?
Ascendant? Ascendant.
I don't.
Okay, because the ascendance has a lot of influence on you, like your star sign.
Okay. Yeah, I never really followed any of that. I mean, I've looked at some of it. I know I'm a Gemini. But I've never gone and followed out my chart to see what all the different areas of my life are and why behaviors and circumstances and situations. And the star alignment actually does show you your path.
Exactly.
It really
But
does.
actually, I also believe that when we grow spiritually, when we embrace our higher self, we go beyond all the star signs, because then we embrace all our best versions. So
Yes.
the star sign doesn't apply anymore once we embrace our best version. I don't know if you agree with me.
I really
I
do
do.
agree with you on that.
I
Yeah.
do too. Yep.
Because that's where when we are able to connect to our higher self is that Christ like spirit
Consciousness.
man, the consciousness. Yes. And when we have
Yes.
that space, then we're actually meeting to and being part of that true, authentic person from not the person, but the spirit self, and being able to move in our spirit instead of our flesh and our conscious mind and the subconscious and the reactions and everything else, because then we're living from a heart space and actually living from full truth.
Yes. Yes. Very,
So
very
what
accurate. Yes.
what I want you both to do today, by listening to what's going on for both of you and what's keeping you separate. So for yourself, Jen, am I correct in saying that what's happening for you is that you are reminded a lot of the brokenness? So you're carrying a brokenness for others in your family and around you.
Literally in the immediate, yes. My mother is infirmed with stroke, and I'm having to manage all of our affairs across my shoulders, albeit I can hold a lot and they're big. I cannot do absolutely everything all by myself. And it's literally of the overhead not yet had of our life in finance that I can't help there to be outsourcing, so as that I have more room to breathe and to uh, f- uh, go through upgrades. Um, and if it wasn't that I went to that is special school back in 2005 onward and was in for 13 years, I probably would be so fragmented and continuing the brokenness that I probably would have to have the state hospital come and pick me up and put
Okay.
me inside rubber room. But yeah,
I'm
it's
really proud of you, Jen, for the
yeah,
steps you've taken for yourself, because I
yeah,
know how hard that is.
yes,
And
yes.
Moon, for yours today, looking over yours, you are dealing with self sabotage
Mm,
as well as addiction, but you're also holding you're you use this to medicate yourself. This is your excuse to get away from your life. You go have your drink of your coffee because you can go and get it, or go away from whatever's going on to go touch up your coffee. You can go away. You're sitting in there, you have your coffee. That's I'm away from everybody. This is my time. And your cigarette allows you to walk away from circumstances too, because of the disruptions. You can go, well, I'm going to go smoke my cigarette and I don't have to deal with you. So when you have that, I want you to think about when you go today into the fountain, I want you to allow yourself to remove the need. That's what I want you to think about. I want to remove the need for my cigarettes, the need for my coffee, the need to excuse myself, because it's okay for me to be me. And that's what I want you to replace in there. It's okay to be me and be free from those things that keep me from the things that I want and cause me sabotage. So when you step in the fountain today, that's what I want you to think about. I need to remove the need for the things that are not necessary and the self-sabotage. And I want to replace it with the healthy choice and the decision to be well. Miss Jan, I want you to think about when you go in the fountain today. I don't think you've been through the fountain yet.
Oh, fountain.
Remind me the fountain. Can you remind us the fountain procedure, Darla?
Yes. What we're going to do is we're going to mentally go into a space where we are actually putting ourselves in a place where we can see the garden and the fountain in front of us. And it is a cascading light effect of white light healing fountain, the cleansing, the only fountain of true restoration healing that we can walk into. We're going to allow it to come in, it goes in through the crown, goes through our whole body. We're going to allow it to remove the things that are no longer serving us and deposit it into the ground as far away from us as possible, because the sin in our life, the destructions and the lies that we live each day can be buried. They're a form of sin within. We can remove the sin and we can bury it, because sin equals death. So we can bury it. No longer has any part to our life. We can come back in, repair through the light. We'll repair our body, bring it back up, and then allow what's naturally formed and fashioned for us from the beginnings and the foundations of the earth to come back in and restore us to true restoration, healing. And then we thank Source, God, and receive our true healing for the moment in regards. And we can walk out with understanding that we truly removed and replaced. So,
Yes.
are you ready to do that, Jan?
Yes. Oh, yes.
So let me get in that fountain. I love it. I had a dream, and I'm going to explain. I had a dream one night, and I was going through some stuff in my own life, and I had to get in the fountain myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that healing restoration comes from the one true source. And it was a gift that was given for me to bring back to our conscious living. And it's a tool for us all to be, it is a blessing, and it is just remarkable that I was entrusted to bring people to that healing, because it's not mine. I just get to be the vessel that gets to talk about it.
Yay.
So I want y'all to really take a second and think about the things that we discussed and how separated that keeps you from where you want to be. All the discomfort, the frustrations, the irritations, the things that are associated with it. Each and every single one of us knows everything that goes along with those vibrational stories that we create. And we can end them as much as we can begin them. So today I want you to go ahead and imagine yourself standing right now in the garden. And in the center of that garden is a fountain. And right now it is standing right in front of you. You have all rights to make the decision today to take your brokenness, your self-sabotage, and all of the lies that you created with those things. You can take those in and be washed clean today. I want you to go ahead and step up, and step in. As you step in, you're now feeling that cooling sensation just going around your body. And I want you to go ahead and see that cascading light that's in front of you, coming and pouring down. I want you to go ahead and step in and allow that light to come into the crown of your head, go into your mind, and wash away anything that has to do with addictions, anything that has to do with self-sabotage, anything that has to do with the brokenness from the past vibrational story of which we've had, that allow it to be cleansed, come down into the jaw. Anything we've spoken, let it be washed away, down into our throat. Remove any damages that have come from those words, into our shoulders, down into our arms, into our fingertips. Gather up anything that we've done with our hands to cause our harm for ourselves, bring it all the way back up and into our chest, into our heart center, Allow it to swirl and create a vortex that's removing anything that goes along with these stories that are damaging us. Bring it to and into the light, illuminate it so we can see that it's been gathered down into our solar plexus, into our sacral, into our root. Continue to gather up any lies and deceit or hurt or pain, any stories that are associated, anything that has happened to our bodies that hurt us, that make us do the things that we do. Allow it to be washed and cleansed down through the hips, through the thighs, into the calves, into our feet. Let it to go ahead and go out of our feet and into the ground as far away from us as possible, and allow all pain associated, all lies, all confusion, self-sabotage, addictions, things that no longer bring us any health, wealth, and goodness. Anything that is not good in our body, let it be washed away, buried as far away from us as possible. And then go ahead and remove the light from that substance, leave it where it lay, bring back the light into your feet, up into your calves, up through your thighs, into your hips, back up through your body from your root into your sacral, into the solar plex, into your heart, down through your arms, into your fingertips, back up through your shoulders. Restore your voice through your throat chakra, into your jaw, up into your mind, so your third eye can be awakened and open to see the truth. And allow that light to go back up into the heavenlies. When it's returned, ask for it to come back through and sweep your body. Come back through into the crown, into the mind, into the jaw, into the neck, to the throat, into the shoulders, down your arms, into your fingertips, back up into your heart chakra. Allow it to sit for a moment and be restored to the truth of the foundations of the world as in which it was began, down into your solar plex, into your sacral, into the root. May your truth be restored. Down your thighs, into your calves, into your feet, and let it come back up through your calves, your thighs, your root, into your sacral, your solar plex, your heart. Feel the warmth and the joy, because the truth is you can be healed. Across your shoulders, down your arms, into your fingers, back up through your throat, into your jaw, up through your mind, and back into the heavenlies, and thank for your healing. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes.
So very grateful. Thank you, Darla.
You're welcome, Moon.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
And
Thank you.
Jan, since this is your
That was-
first time into the fountain, how was your
Mhm.
experience?
That was wonderful. That is a great new tool / skill you can use each time to realign and overall feel better. It's just the make of time out to do that. Happy to. Yeah, that was wonderful. Do it
Awesome.
again and again.
And Moon, I know that
Yes,
this time you were actually able to stay for the whole thing and not have to run through it rushed. How do you feel?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I'm gonna be working on my cigarettes and coffee, reducing as much as I can. And that's it. I'm gonna be applying what you said. And thank you for sharing how you did stop smoking. So, you know, it can help me. It can help me to go step by step, slowly, slowly. And that's it. And enjoy your day. I have a busy day ahead of me, so I'm gonna let you go, all of you, and send you all my love. I have to jump in my shower. And have a wonderful weekend,
Thank
everyone.
you. You as well.
You too.
Thank
You
you
too.
so much, Darla. Bye, Jana. Bye.
Bye. Moon. Bye. Yes.
Thank you so much, Miss Jan, for being here. I appreciate you.
You too. I do of you too.
Be
Okay.
blessed, love. And you know you can contact me through the Art of Learning Self-Love because I think you're in there now.
Yep.
And if you need any more assistance, just message me.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. Thank you, Darla. You have a great, excellent rest of day and week.
You as well. Bye for now.